Hi, welcome back to the Blessed Moms podcast. Today I have Larkin Hassler. I love having Larkin anywhere near me. Larkin's just the sweetest person ever and just has such a kind heart. So I'm really excited for today's episode. I think it'll be really fun. You gotta get your proper stance. So we are going to be talking about dating and relationships and just having. Okay, so we're gonna go over like a few different things with it. Talking about like having like what you want and like looking for what you want in a man or a partner, and if you're a guy and looking for the girl. So we're just gonna talk about some stuff. It's just gonna be exciting just to talk and just see. Yeah. So it's always fun to see like where God leads the conversations. So
Definitely.
it's really cool. But no, so in my questions I have for you this one's going to be like a really open question, so you can answer however you want to answer. What are your thoughts on dating?
Okay,
so it's not really open, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay, because I mean, like, yeah.
It'll get us into our conversation.
So, just me personally, it's like, I feel like at a young age, I feel like it's like, we kind of take it way more seriously, especially when it's not Christ-centered, and I just feel like young people, like just like little or like just like young teenagers in general, really. I just feel like it's like you really shouldn't, because you kind of really get it in your head that it's like, oh, this person I gotta spend my time with, and I just gotta spend all my like energy with them. But it's like you can make time for like other people as well, like your friends. Like it's not always about them. And I just feel like older, because you kind of get a little more mature and like kind of maybe realize what you want,
Yep, sure.
And you just kind of realize that. And
Okay, so when I see, so I have a lot of friends, they're like dating. We're going to put that in quotations because I just say what we're doing because the like audio can't really see our hands. Yeah, in quotations, dating. It's interesting is the word I'm going to put for that. I think that dating in general is beautiful, and it's really cool that God like puts us together, and that He talks about how like we become one, and when you're married, all that stuff, and that's really beautiful and really just neat. But I think that as a young age, it's kind of interesting, and so I see two different sides of this, because the people I'm going to have on like next week or in a few weeks, they started dating at like 15, and they're married now. They've been married for like a long time. But that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I think that as a relationship as a young age, like young teenage, so you're 15, yeah. Okay, so I'm 14, she's 15. So yeah, at this age, I feel like it's hard. Because, especially as a younger, because you don't always know what you want.
Yeah.
And that's hard, because you're like, well, I don't know what I want, and so I think as I see now, people are just dating what they see.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they have pretty hair, I'm going to date them. Okay, well, do you even know if they are Christian? Do you even know if they're in the Word at all?
Yeah.
And so I think that's really hard. And I think we were talking about earlier about just like talking to people and getting to know people.
Exactly.
And even if you don't like them, you can still get to know them, because it's really important to have a friend to just talk to. Like a lot of my guy friends, I'll text them like, hey, so what do you think about this topic? Or what do you think about this? Or what are your thoughts on this?
Mm-hmm.
And they will give me a different point of view, a perspective. And that's really important, I feel like. So I think dating is just in general, you have to think about what you're doing with it. And Larkin and I have talked about it before. And I was like, yeah, I have a list of things. This sounds really bratty. I have a list of things that the guy has to have. And it's like not like it's standard. It's like, it's just like, this is what I'm really, because you don't want to get put into a relationship where you are being like used, or you are not being treated the way you should be treated, because this is also going to sound bratty, it sounds really bratty, I want to be treated like a Proverbs 31 woman.
Exactly, and it's healthy to have boundaries, and like healthy to have those standards, because it's like you knowing what you want. And so sometimes, like as young kids, we like jump into things, and we jump into dating especially, and we like just go for it, but we don't know what we want. So kind of, I'm not trying to sound mean or anything or like bad, but it's like we kind of find the wrong person like for us, and you know we could get used and everything, you know.
Yeah, I think that's really important to just find what you want, and it is okay, and it might take you longer. Okay, so like I have some friends who, yeah, they're dating people, but I have what I want, and it might take me until I'm 20 to find what I want, but they're gonna have already ran through 8 different guys and they still haven't found what they want.
Yeah.
And I'd rather take my time. And I love my guy friends. Like I absolutely love my guy friends, and I love talking to them. And at this point, I don't want a relationship with any of them.
Yeah,
and that's
okay.
Main thing.
And it's okay to be friends with the opposite gender. You know, it's like it's normal. You know.
Yeah, and that's really important. Like I think that's really cool to have that because they go through different things than we do, and their emotions are fully different. Like. I'll text Larkin and I'll be like crying. I'm like, you know, this is going on. If I text them, they're like, okay, what do you need? And Larkin's like, I'll just give you a big hug. They just help you. Like they have a different way of helping you, and it kind of is really cool because God doesn't say you can only be friends with your same gender.
Yeah.
Because that's just how that works. And I think this world has definitely made it seem really weird to be friends with a guy. And it's like, yeah, I have a guy friend. Oh, do you guys like each other?
I was just talking to my friend about this because she was texting me about she was just getting to know this person, but then one of his friends are like, oh, do you like him? Do you like him? Go on a date. And she was like, and I was talking to her, I'm like, why can't it just be normal for guys and girls to be friends without like exactly, like it's okay, it's normal. Like why?
We should start a petition. We should. But no, like I have somebody who's making fun of me and one of my guy friends, like, you guys did that. I'm like, no. I absolutely love them. And I think that it's important to have the opposite gender be your friend. Because I find different like things to talk about with them. And so for all the girls out there, don't worry. It's okay. You're allowed to be friends with guys. It's fine. Forget about those mean people who are telling you no.
Exactly.
And it's good because they'll protect you. If someone comes up to fist fight you, Larkin and I, like, I don't know what to do. I can't fight out. But no, the guys will help you out.
Kind of like that protector.
Yeah, there's like a little security guard. You got like a little.
Exactly.
But no, so I do have a list on my phone. We're gonna pull up my list. I think I shared it with you once. I sent it to you.
Oh, I think so.
It's like, look at Lance and Larkin. I made a list. But no, so I have like things that I would be like interested in the guy having. And they puts God first. That's like. If you don't do that, you're out of the list. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then like is in his Bible daily because that's really important. Because I think that's really underrated is being in your Bible all the time. People are like,
and that's something I'm still struggling with and working on as well.
Yeah, and I wrote something down and I was like, you have to hold yourself to the same standards that you're holding other people to.
Exactly.
That's really important. Because if I told Larkin, you have to do this and this and this, and I was like not doing any of those, then Larkin's gonna be up here and I'm still gonna be down here because I'm not like equaling myself with what I'm making Larkin do.
Yeah.
And so loves me for who I am. That's really important.
Very. And that I was gonna say something else about like the dating thing. And so I feel like especially whenever you don't have it centered, like Christ centered is what I mean. And especially when you don't have that Christ centered and you don't have that relationship with God, and you know you're kind of and you don't know yourself, you kind of are looking for a different area, and like you're kind of the people that you end up with might be like kind of what you're looking for in your sin is what I mean.
Yeah.
I have an old friend who was kind of like that, and she wasn't that close with God, and all of her boyfriends would be like kind of trashy, like, and I'm not trying to be mean, but it's true. They were like toxic and like bad for her, and it was like I saw that, I tried to tell her and everything, but it's kind of like and I think it was because like she didn't find her self-worth, and she was looking for that worth and that love through guys and relationships, and your worth is not found in guys, and it's not found in relationships, it's not found in people, it is found in Christ. And when you know that, it's like you know yourself, because once you realize that your identity is found in Christ, then that is who you are, and you know who you are, and once you like realize and accept yourself and just love yourself first, because you have to love yourself first before getting really into any relationship, because you love yourself and then you know yourself and you know what you want. And so when you know what you want, you know what you're going to go after and you know what you're going to want to look for. And that took me a long time to realize that, I'm still working on that, working on myself and working on my relationship with Christ. But like, I know, I'm confident. I don't know if I sound bragging, how would you say, but I know what I want and I know who I am. And so I'm going to go after what I want. And I'm going to go after, what I'm trying to, what God wants for me. And so I feel like you really need to love yourself first and accept yourself first and accept your identity in Christ. Absolutely. And having that Christ-centered. Because once you love yourself and you know yourself first, then you will know what you want.
Yes.
Know what you go for.
Mm-hmm.
And that I feel like is really important.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like maybe a lot of teens struggle with, because they don't know themselves first. And they try to seek that through relationship.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that all of mine, like on my whole list, I have like in my notes section. If people saw my notes section, they'd be like, she's a psycho. But no, I have it in there. None of them have anything to do with their outward appearance. Yeah. Like, I'm not looking for a six-pack and beautiful hair. Like, I don't really care. I mean, I do care. You want to be like drawn towards them and attracted to them, but
and that's okay too.
Right, that's important. But also knowing their heart and knowing like who they are in God.
Exactly.
And I think that takes time. And so you don't need to rush into a relationship, because if they are going to be there for you, they're going to be there for you. So they're not going to leave you right away because you want to get to know them. If you want to get to know, like, I can't talk. If you want to get to know them and they are like, sorry, no, then that's a red flag and they're not going to be here for a while. But think about like talking to God about it, just being like, I pray about it a lot. Like, hey God, how you doing? I'm wanting to be in a healthy relationship in my life. So especially with all your relationships, your family, your friends.
It doesn't have to be just dating, but definitely pray for those relationships.
Yeah, absolutely, because you want those to be strong.
Exactly.
And part of praying is that because God already knows everything, but it's part of that thought that you get to know something about yourself too.
Yeah.
Because when I talk to God, I realize something deeper. Like when I'm like, hey, so I'm really like stressed about this, and God's like, okay, let's take a step back. Why?
Exactly.
Why is always such an important question, and not asking God, why are you doing this to me? But also like, how can I find you in this situation?
Yeah, if I knew that so many years ago.
I know. I'm like, I wish I could just go back and talk to myself.
Right? I was just thinking that, like, I need to tell my past self some of these things I've learned.
Give her a big hug.
And, just like, I'm so sorry you're going through this. It's all going to be okay. Exactly. I think having them, especially, we talked about them being Christ-centered and godly-based, and not just in dating relationships, but in all relationships. I found over the years, as I became a Christian and I was growing my relationship with Christ, having them Christ-centered and having that godly bond, it's like you have that godly bond and it brings you closer and it just brings it stronger, like just between you and that person as well. And it just bonds you together because it's like it's Christ-centered and it's just something about God, and then He really speaks to you guys, and there's like there's no judgment with that person who you have that godly relationship with, like you, and that I can be vulnerable with you and I can tell you what's on my heart, because I know no matter what, like we could go without talking for like a month, but like we'll always be close because we have that godly centered and we have that bond, and because it's God-based, and I think that really makes all those relationships much more stronger because they're through Christ and with Him, and it's like you're really like you share that intimate moment with God, and like during that time you share it with the other person because you guys are building your relationship with Christ together.
Absolutely, and that's so important, and it's hard to especially we don't talk all the time. Like we do talk a lot, but it's not like I see her every week. I see her maybe like every 5 months. Like sometimes it's like I haven't seen you in months, and then we still talk though. And I just have like this knowledge I can text Larkin and tell her whatever's going on. Like, I will literally tell her everything. And I will call her and I'll just be like crying and she'll be like, I got you. I'm praying for you. And like, just that feeling of overwhelming peace that God gives us through other people, especially.
Yeah.
And I want that with the person that I'm like partnered with, and that's really important to me. I think that should be important, is that you have a Christ-based like foundation, because I say this, I hope that the man that I find, and he is Christ-centered, and he is like, he loves God over me.
Yeah.
That is something that I want him to do, is to love God over me, because I will mess up and I will fail and my love will fail, but God's never will, and God's love never will, and God will never fail. And so I want him to know God and like find love in God and still love me and still know that I dearly love him, but to love God more. And that can sound really scary and like weird, but like I want him to love God more, because God is a creator. God calls us to love him, and just the fact of thinking that someday I will be married and I will have a family, and it's just such a cool thought. I think as girls we think about that a lot.
Right.
Be married.
I do think about it a lot.
I do. I actually wrote thing on my phone about my like wedding plans.
Oh yeah.
Do you have that? Do you have one of those? Like a
No,
wedding?
not yet.
Not yet. Maybe like in 2 days. Sure.
You know those Pinterest boards where like, this is what my wedding looks like. These are my kids' clothes. These are the kid names, you know?
I have that. And the worst part, I'll show it to you later. It's super cute. I found this little place I want to get married in. It's like some random person's house, but whatever. Forget it. I'll just go over there and be like, hey.
Yeah, look at my wedding hair. Just,
It's been like 15 years. I'll be 30. It'll be sooner than maybe 15 years. That's crazy, Larkin. It's okay, you'll be my bridesmaid. But yeah, that's just such a cool thought, though. But no, so I pulled out a Bible verse. I'm probably gonna be not even here when I look up. For 2 Corinthians 6:14. Do not be bound together with unbelievers. For what partnership have righteous and lawless? Or what fellowship has light with darkness? And that is such a real verse.
Yeah.
Like it literally
I just
says,
saw that verse the other day.
Really?
Mm, yeah.
But it says, like, do not be bound together with unbelievers. Okay, so if we go into that, do not be bound together with unbelievers. So when you are looking for a man, or for your guy, if you're looking for a woman, a believer, like, and it needs to be a real believer. Because, you know, you can tell when they're not a real believer.
Yeah, definitely.
You can tell. Maybe not on the beginning, first date, but you will be able to tell once you start to see their heart. And like when I sit down with someone and we're having a conversation, I will talk about Jesus for like a lot of the conversation. Like you don't hear Jesus' name or God or like any of that. You're going to know, because that's important for me to tell people. Is every time I have a conversation, I make sure I mention God, because I want them to know. If they don't like me, then they can walk away. That's their decision. That's their choice. Like
then you know, like that person will, for you.
And I wrote down earlier, I was like, God will put the man in your life that is the one that you're going to need. And he will, what did I write? It was really cute. Okay, God knows what you need. So if he takes a boy out of your life, then maybe that boy doesn't have what you need.
Yeah.
And that is sometimes a sad point, because you're like, he was my man. No.
Yeah.
And that's just, sorry, I keep rambling.
No.
But, you know, like, coming back to like knowing what you want and God, because like what else I have? Okay, I'm just gonna go with my list. Loves me for who I am, trusts me, and is trustworthy. Goes to church with me, invites me to his church, puts effort in the relationship. Our families love each other. Encourages me to grow closer to God every day.
Yeah,
that
definitely that encouragement with God, because my friend who was in like kind of like a toxic relationship, the other person claimed to be an unbeliever, claimed to be a believer.
Yeah.
But and I knew them before, and I knew that they were kind of bad news. And they really kind of brought her down.
Yeah.
They tried to using scripture against her, and that's what this world I really feel like has definitely turned the Bible and twisted it, because it's so easily that scripture gets twisted and gets taken out of context. And it's really important to read verses, but with context. Read it in context and know that time, but that's a different thing. But he would really try to bring her down, be like, "You're not acting Christian-like," and it's like, buddy, check yourself first as well. You know, that one verse, it's like, don't take the log out of somebody else's eye.
Check the one in your eye first.
Yeah.
Like it's like a splinter in someone else's eye, but you need to check the log that's in yours first. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I feel like you can, being a person, you can like really easily do that, you know, try to kind of hypocriting yourself. That's probably not the right sentence, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean. Like check yourself first before you check someone else. That's what we were talking about when I was like, hold yourself up to the same standards that you're gonna hold someone else up to. So when I'm like, he needs to read his Bible every day, I'm like, okay, maybe I should read my Bible every day. So I do, and I try, but sometimes we do fall short. And that's that time where you gotta pray and be like, sorry God, thank you for giving me tomorrow, because that's the second chance.
Yeah.
So important. I have little things. I have like what the main things. I have little things and I have negative actions. So I have like little things is that like he holds my hand when I pray. I love holding people's hands when I pray. I know, I'm always like, hi Larkin, you know, I just hold your hand. And then opens doors for me. I think that's like such a sweet action.
It's so easy too. Just like just open the door, guys. Come on.
But then sometimes I'm a brat and I open my own door because I am a girl boss and I'm like, sorry. Independent woman. And then I'm like, I'm sorry, can you open the door? Surprising with flowers. That's such a true thing.
So cute too.
That is so sweet. Like I love surprising myself with flowers. I'm like, I'm getting flowers, thank you. Because I think that's just that little like love of just showing, because we have hard days, we all do. And I think that's really cute to just like a little surprise, a little something that helps them. What else do I have? Dances with me in the rain. I love dancing in the rain. I'm like a psycho out there in the rain. Are you like, do you do that too? Where you dance in the rain? Do you dance in the rain? What?
I do too, probably.
Dude, it's
I play out in the rain.
Oh my gosh, look at the puddles. Like a child, yes, me too. And my mom's like, what are you doing? You know, like, you see it's raining. I gotta go outside. And then, okay, this one's super sweet. Tells me he's proud of me.
Aw, yeah.
Because I love telling people I'm proud of them.
It's those little things, and like actions speak louder than words.
Absolutely.
And it's so true, especially back to what you said about like how you can tell a person's not a Christian. It's really kind of, you can tell by their actions, maybe what they say, what they do, what they post, you know? Yeah,
and absolutely. And I think that that's really something crazy, because when you're looking for your person, when you look at their Facebook page or Instagram or whatever, and they just post Bible verses, that's sweet. But do they mean those Bible verses?
Exactly. You can also post like godly stuff and godly things, but it's like, do you know the person, and like, do you know their heart? Is like that actually true?
Yeah, I want to know their heart. And then I also have on my list negative actions, like smoking. I'm like that. Cussing. Cussing really makes me mad. Yeah. I know, like sometimes my dad will, but like my fuse.
Yeah, no, I understand. You know, it's like my mom's side, they have a mouth, but it's like, come on, guys, just chill.
Right.
It's okay.
It just makes me mad. I don't like it. It just like makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I see that. And yeah, it's like kind of makes you sound kind of just not cool.
I know, they sound more uncool with their cussing.
Exactly.
Like, come on, no, partying. Okay, and also this really sounds mean, especially to the boys. You know, they're trying to kill me, but they always play video games. That's totally fine. I love playing video games. They're really fun.
Yeah.
But if you choose the game over me, have you ever seen this video?
Yeah.
And it's this guy talking to the like wife, and she says, "You're gonna have to choose the video game." It's like a meme, or me. And then the guy turns and he's talking to the dog. He's like, "Yeah, and I'm gonna miss you for a year." And he's like, "I told her straight up." And I was like, he's like talking, and that didn't sound right. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like where he was like, "I picked the video game." But no, have you seen that meme? It's really funny. I'll send it to you. It's hilarious. But no, that just sounds really petty. But you know what I mean? Like just that. Or they like play a video game with me. I'll play with you.
Yeah.
But if you choose to always be on there and you never talk to me about what is going on in my life.
Yeah. That's definitely like go touch grass too. It's like, but you gotta get out every day.
But like I like the fact that that's also really cool that they play a game and they get to hang out with their friends.
Yeah.
That's really neat. But you know what I mean?
I understand that.
You get what I'm going with.
No, you're not being a brat. I understand that.
Don't you get that? Because it's just like that feeling of like, because sometimes you see people And especially when I like looking at married couples and seeing how their relationship is together.
My friend just got married and they're so cute because it's like you can tell they're Christ-centered. They definitely show it, and it's like I want that.
Yes. Yeah, watching like what I look at like different relationships and what I want and what I do not want. And so watching them and seeing this like connection and bond, and I have seen a lot where it's broken because of one of them, even if it's just the girl, being on a gaming system or on the TV all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They're always watching something, they're always playing something. They're never like connected with the other person. And so I think it'd be really fun to just go on like walks together and go like do fun things together because
make that time and like effort.
Yeah, I had a love language test we did the other day, and mine was quality time.
Yeah.
And words of affirmation, because like I love when people not compliment me, but they talk to me and they like remind me that I'm not doing so bad because I'm hard on myself. I think that we all really are hard on ourselves.
Because it's like we see more of ourselves than, and we see those little flaws in us that we think other people see, but
yes, they don't. Yeah, and I like see these little things and I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. So when someone tells me something, especially like I'm proud of you, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Because it reminds me like, okay, I'm doing this. That's for like hospital. No, what? Also, when like you can feel God proud of you, it's such a good feeling. Do you know what I mean? That feeling, I just love it. I don't even know where I keep going with all this stuff. I'm sorry.
But that's okay.
But no, I love that. And then just like knowing, I think it's so cool that we know what we want, and it'll change all the time.
Yeah, it will. Especially as we grow, and because we're also like growing more into an adult, and we're also like changing and finding what we like as well. Because as we grow, we're just changing also in ourselves, and we're finding new things that we like and new styles and everything like that.
Yeah, and just knowing what I think it's so cool to change. Change. I have a thing on my
scared of change, but I'm getting better.
It says change is a door that can only be opened from the inside.
Oh, like that's so cute. It's so true too.
Like you have to allow it to happen,
Yeah.
And God won't force things on you. Your life will change, and that's okay. I've had a lot of change in my life. I've lost a lot of friends. I've moved a lot. I've changed who I am a lot of times because I didn't like who I was and who I was becoming, and I had to remember like Christ-centered friendship, Christ-centered like me, because I was letting myself become this like not godly person, and just knowing that people can change, and so that's such a scary point in relationships, especially if you guys are doing great, it's all going great, and then they change. Because like I've never been in a relationship, I've never dated anybody, like I have friendships and that kind of stuff, and I think that that's just, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with that. Yeah. So what else? Let's see. I have a lot of verses. Look at my little. Colossians 3:9. It just says "don't lie" is what it talks about in that one, and that's big in relationships.
Being honest, I feel like communication is the key. It literally is. And because be honest and open with your person, because they can help you and they can listen and to see what you're going through, and they can like just help you move past whatever's going on. But it's very important for communicating, just in all relationships as well. Just so you know, you're on the same page, and same thing with like boundaries. Communicating that boundaries, and it's very important to do that.
Yeah, and I think that communication really is key because if that person is your person, then they are going to stick with you no matter what, and telling them the truth, no matter like what you're going through, tell them the truth. And when they ask you how you are, tell them the truth, because if they actually care, then they will like be there for you. That's how you tell if people actually care, when you actually tell them what's going on.
Okay.
And that's like a really big point. Is like if I have something going on and I tell someone and I just see how they react, or like stuff like that, it really tells you a lot about a person.
Yeah.
A lot about relationships and friendships. If you are in a hard part of your life and you ask for help and you see how they respond, you will see like who's gonna stand with you. And I think that's hard. That's really hard because sometimes you're like, God, they like aren't there for me, or they're leaving me, or something like that. And friendships change, and over time you will lose some friendships, and that is okay. That is not easy, but it's okay. And being truthful and honest with people, I love telling people where they stand with me. that's a big thing. Like
Yeah.
you stand here with me and you stand here with me, because that's important.
It is.
Be
'Cause
honest with it. Sorry, but cutting you off.
no, it is. I didn't even know what I was gonna say that.
I'm gonna flip to a page. What else do you want to talk about? Bring up something. What is a relationship that you have?
I'm trying to think. I did have one. What did I have? Oh, so I was gonna say this earlier, but I kind of forgot.
Okay.
It's what you said earlier. It's about with the what was that unbeliever one that you said earlier today? It was bound.
Oh yeah,
Like,
the Bible verse that like believers not to be bound with unbelievers.
Yes.
Because they're like the opposite.
Yeah. So I feel like that's a lot of Christians. I feel like whenever they like somebody and then they're an unbeliever, they do the thing. Have you heard the term mission dating? Mission dating. Okay, so mission. It's called mission dating, but it's like when an unbeliever is into when a Christian when a Christian and Christ follower is wanting to date somebody that's an unbeliever, but they like want to date them, but they're dating them to change them, but it's like I understand that. It's like that's cool and like that's great that you want to change them, but you have to it's a lot more easy for the Christian / Christ follower to fall short of that and like fall from God and distance from God from dating the unbeliever. And it's just like you can be the influence to someone all you want, but in the end it's their decision to change themselves.
Absolutely.
You can influence other, and I've realized that over time in my life, and you can be the influence all you want, but in the end it's they're the one to make that decision to change. So it's like a lot of people are like, oh, go for it, you got this, honey, but it's like it's very hard to do that, and it's because it's such an easy not trap, but it's like such an easy way to fall from God and to distance yourself from Him, because then it's like maybe you don't want to embarrass yourself in front of them or something, but it's just so easy for you to do that. And I feel like if somebody wants to do that, focus on being friends first and like being like showing them to Christ first instead of dating, because it's I mean I'm pretty sure it says in the Bible for Christians to seek after other Christians, because it's like you can build your faith up with them. It's so much just better and stronger for you to build your relationship up with Christ and just to build your faith together. And it's such a beautiful thing to see and such a beautiful thing to witness together and do together. But he says to like share his word to everyone, not just Christians. So
absolutely, yeah.
Definitely, if you have people in your life that like are unbelievers, and like share the gospel, then continue
Absolutely.
to pray for them. And I strongly believe in the power of prayer, and it's just something I realized throughout my life has definitely changed me. And pray for them, and for that unbeliever to like pray for them, like on like the outside, like not for them, like.
I know
Like whenever you go to bed or something, pray for them and stuff. And so God really works in prayer. And like sometimes it takes like 5 years for that. I was hearing at camp last week, this lady who she was praying for her aunt, like for the longest time. For her family was praying for like 5+ years. It was like for a really long time. And she's like, I'm pretty sure the aunt is like 74 now, but she just turned to Christ. And she just devoted her life to Christ. And so he does work. So it's prayer. It's an amazing thing. Just praying for that someone. Also in a relationship, continuously praying for them. This makes me so happy just thinking about it. Because it's the feeling and just that bond that you can build with prayer is so amazing, because you can build it with the person and Christ as well. Like at the same time, it's so beautiful. It's so amazing. Because he wants us to have people in our lives. God made Adam. He's like, oh, Adam needs somebody.
He needed Eve.
He made it Eve. So it's like
he needed Eve, and Eve needed Adam, and that's just beautiful that we need people. Like that is such a real thing. A lot of times I think, well, maybe I'll just, because part of me doesn't want to get married. Part of me really likes being alone. Like not alone, you know what I mean? I like being by myself, and I like doing things just me and just taking care of me. And so part of me is like, well, maybe I'll just like adopt and I'll just be with me. And the child, like, that's not probably going to work out well with me, but that was like, oh, but I think that getting married is such a blessing and such a beautiful thing. And so even if you're going through a hard time and you don't see it now, God will show you something else. There's always light at the end of the tunnel, and no matter how dark it is, that makes me so sad about suicide and all that stuff, that there's always light.
And it took me a while, like trusting in God, because it took me so long to like, how do I trust in God, and stuff, and like how do I see that? Because looking back on all the things I struggled with, like depression, anxiety, and something I was struggling with recently, it really helped me trust God more, because I really realized that I don't like God. I don't know what is going to be at the end. I don't know what is going to happen. I don't know what I'm going to go through this. And I don't know why you're doing this. And I don't know why I'm going through this. But I'm going to trust you, because I know that His way is better.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people are like, just, trust in Him and stuff. And it's like, kind of think of it in a blind faith way. But you're trusting in Him because you know His way is better. You know the path that He has for you is so much better than your way. So you don't know what's going to happen, but you're just having that trust because, God, I don't know what's happening, but I know it's going to be just such a blessing, so amazing, because it's of Him.
Yes, every night
so
I feel like I have a therapy session with Jesus. I'm like, okay, God, here's what happened today. I write a lot because writing helps me to get things off my chest better. But if I'm talking to God, I'll like write down some stuff, or I'll talk to Him, and I'll just be like, okay, this is what's going on. This is what I need help with. Because human love will not always be there for you, but God's love always will.
That's so true. It's
yes,
so
I know, right? Like, I think that you will feel alone a lot of your life. Like, that's an honest thing. I felt alone a lot.
Yeah.
And the one thing, because I could call you and you could tell me you're not alone, but guess what? I'm still going to feel alone.
Exactly. I was just discussing with that what we were talking about before this.
Yes. Yeah, because you're going to still feel alone, and just knowing that God is the only way out of things. And I think friendship is so important because that can help you find God. And so I definitely want the person that I find to share the same beliefs as you and really influence each other. That's important, but influence in the right ways.
Yeah.
Because you are going to be influenced by the people you hang out with. And so really figure out what you want. So if you guys don't have a list of things that you want in a person, that's really important, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that how I want to be treated because I think that the man, he needs to have things that he wants in a woman as well. Because we are equals, he needs to choose what he wants, because that would help him also. Because I think that we need to have like a guy on here, because I have no idea how they think. Like when they think about a relationship, like what are their thoughts?
Good idea.
Like, I have no idea. We can pull Anthony.
Okay. He wouldn't know.
He doesn't know. I don't know. I like my dog. I'm really in love with my dog, Kevin. She's a dog named Kevin. I love that.
I know, I named him.
I'm so random. I actually think the guy from Minions.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Kevin. I love that. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna ask you a hard question. You ready?
Yeah.
Do you want kids? Do I want kids? Are you gonna be a mom?
I do want kids.
You'd be such a good mom, Larkin.
Thank you. Oh, I know.
You'd be such a good mom.
So would you.
I don't know that to be a mom.
You would.
Road
trust me.
That sounds so scary.
Me too. I am.
Just, like, a little human, like, depending on you. Dude, I can't even, like, help myself sometimes.
I want more than one kid. I want, like, my max is 4, but, like, I really love a big family, and I love kids. I think I'm really good with, like, kids, like, kind of toddler age and everything, and if not, 3 is fine, but, like, I don't want just one kid because like I don't want them to feel alone. I want them to have someone else as well because like I know without Lance, I know it's cringy and everything. He hates it when I talk like all mushy about him, but like Lance, I love you. He's like, get away from me.
I love you and his relationship. Is he okay with us having his name on here?
Yeah.
Forget about him.
Yeah,
maybe
it's
he'll be
fine.
on here someday.
Maybe.
He's like, if you get a lot of followers, I'll be on there.
Yeah, of course he will.
No, but I know. I love you and Vince's relationship.
We have gotten definitely closer because sorry, I cut you off.
No,
but like I feel like after COVID hit and everything, it was because we were put into homeschool and everything, CC, and he kind of got away. I feel like from his friends that were his age, and I kept on the mind that were my age, and so he's always like, especially when he was younger, he's always kind of been a little bit more mature than his age, and that's really cool. But after that, he really grew closer with my friends, and so during that time, we shared friends, and we had the same friends, which were all my friends, which were older, and so we really got close with that because he hung out with all the older kids, and so that was like that for the few years, and then he got put back in the public school, which I'm at Agape. He's at the junior high.
No, I can cut that.
Okay. And so I'm at my high school. He's at his junior high, and so then he's with his normal kids' age. So he's kind of like gotten a little less mature now, but we kind of got closer through that because we just
you had to have each other.
Yeah, and just the age gap. I feel like 2 years apart, and it's just we are close.
Yeah, I feel like even when I would come over, I got to hang out with Lance.
Yeah.
Because Lance was just like, he's such a fun kid. It's fun to hang out with him. But like, I come over, I'm able to have like both of you guys.
Yeah.
And that friendship between like all of us and just the different mindsets that we share.
Yeah.
Because we all have different ways we think. And I think it's just kind of fun. You and I together would make like a whole mess. It's like, even though Lance in there, we're all like psychos.
I love that you throw Lance in there as well because back then, like I had some friends who like didn't like Lance or something. It's because either they were an only child or like they didn't have a brother and they had like an older sibling, like an older sister, I think, and they just kind of didn't really understand that bond and everything, what it meant. And so they kind of like pushed them away. I kind of felt bad too, and I did the same thing. Like I'm not blaming it on them, but I did too. But he does feel included, which I like.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate you being that person in our life.
Yeah, but like when I come over and I get to hang out with him, I get to talk to Lance and I get to know like what's Lance up to, what's he doing, is he okay, like all that. And it's so fun to have that sibling bond.
Yeah.
And then I became closer with your family because I knew him.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't afraid to talk to him because I was like, hey bro, how you doing, bestie? And just like that grew me closer to you also because then I knew like more about the whole family and just like it was comfortable place where I could just sit down and I could tell you all the things I'm thinking. And he also takes like everything into consideration. Like he like actually listens.
Yes.
And I think that's really cool that you rubbed off on him at that point because then you guys are like, basically I could go over there, you guys are my therapist together. What do you have today, Round?
I try to be a good influence on this because like I won't. I feel like I'm kind of like a mom to him, and like I mean, an older sister, you know, like for those who are older sibling or older sister, it's like I mean, I feel like naturally women kind of have that more nurturing,
for sure,
like sense to them, you know. We just want to be those caretakers, especially to like younger kids and whatnot, and
love
exactly, especially to that. And so it's like I want what's best for Lance, and so like I try to like influence him on that. And, like I try to be like, Lance, don't do this and stuff. He's like, stop talking about it. And then it's like he gets so annoyed with it. But like I feel like he doesn't realize it's just I'm trying. I just want what's best for him because I do genuinely care for my brother.
Yeah,
and I love that we're close. I love caring for him, and he just thinks it's cringy sometimes because he's getting to that teenage age. And he's like, don't touch me. He's so like.
But yeah, when you look for like a relationship, I'm always looking for what's their family like. What is their family like? That's important because who they are, they will become. I'm gonna say this in the past, but they don't have to become like their family. But a lot of time they will because that's who they spent so much time with. Like you think about who do you spend a lot of time with? You spend a lot of time with your family, and so just seeing what their family like is, and I love like all of my friends' parents. Like I love my parents. Like they're like your second family. I think that's really cool. And just knowing that you're going to have to, your kids are going to grow up with those people. So who are those people? And like they don't have to be like their parents. They might not grow up to be like their parents, but you know what I mean. Like just be aware of all of that stuff. And also, I just wanted to bring this up, guys. If there's any guys watching, there's probably like nobody. Probably just like 4 people watching us.
Okay, it's fine.
But no, if there's any guys, read Proverbs 31. Proverbs 31. Have you read it?
I think.
I'm sure you have. Okay.
I probably
just gonna flip over here. I love all the coloring. Sorry.
I know. I'm trying to get my Bible more.
But then sometimes it's like I feel weird about it. That's all. Like look how magical I am. Not magical. You know what I mean? It's magical. It starts at 10. It goes till the end of the chapter. But at the end, it says, "Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord shall be praised."
I love that.
That's
so
cool.
like the women too.
Yeah, like this is all about like what kind of woman is it, like what a woman is in Christ, and her children rise up and bless her, and her husband also, and he praises her, saying, "Many daughters have done nobly, but you exceed them all." And that's just kind of sweet. Like the man will, like I'm looking for a guy who is like there, and will talk to me and will like help me through all that stuff, and like praise her, not like worship her, bow down and praise her, but he will praise her for like what she's done. He's proud of her. No matter what. And I feel like arguments are gonna happen and all that stuff.
Definitely.
But knowing where you guys stand and having that for sure, because relationships are hard because it's like one person with another person having to rely on each other. And that's why I'm really good at just like relying on myself. But like when I get close to people, I step back and I'm like, okay, I'm done. But you have to get close to people, and that's okay because it's gonna hurt when they walk away. But it's also really good to get close to people and to know people. So just know that when you're like looking for a person, you do like look. I think that's like a cool thing. Is that there's not a like age that we have to get married. Like that's really cool. I feel like that in America we don't have an age that we have to get married. You have to get married by the time you're 21. No.
Especially like also having kids, you know?
Yes. Like you get to choose when you are ready and when God says you're ready. And that's just really special to me. I don't know where I'm going with all of this.
And it's important too, like with the dating as well, like even in marriage. I mean, I know we're not married and stuff.
We're married.
Yeah, actually. And, but like, what we said earlier with being open, communicating, being like open with your person to when you're ready with certain things and just being honest with them and telling them how you feel and how you feel on this aspect and everything. And because like it's very important because my past relationship, we were really good at communicating. I really love that. I'm really happy and glad. And I would say when I was comfortable, like when I wasn't comfortable, and they would like step back and be like, "I'm sorry," and you know they would respect that. And it's just having that respect in a relationship is really good because it's like it's good, you know, it's great because you can just build more things, be more comfortable with that person. And so we were really good on that, and I really love it. And that's what I really encourage people to have their relationships like is communicating because it's definitely the key.
And you can take that now into a different relationship.
Exactly.
Because you know what worked and what didn't work. And like I know that, and I guess knowing that you and your husband or boyfriend are going to fight and you aren't always going to agree on things, but coming back to God every time and being like, okay, here's what my thoughts were and here's what your thoughts were. And just being open and knowing that really just know what you believe in and stand firm in what you believe in and, you know, learn through other people and learn with other people, but you don't have to agree to what anybody else says. You have to agree with what God says, but you don't have to agree to anybody else.
Yeah.
Like if Larkin said something I don't believe in, I don't have to agree with it.
Exactly.
I can take in your opinion. That's your opinion. You have a right to that opinion.
Me and some of my other friends. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay. Me and my other friends were talking about that. We were at a sleepover at her house, and we were it was 3 of us, and we were talking about that, and we were like said some things that another person didn't agree with, but we like acknowledged the fact that like we don't have to agree on everything, and it's
Absolutely.
okay. It is
Yes.
A-okay. But life goes on, and it's okay. Yeah, you don't agree with that, but it's like, it's not the end of the world. And I feel like sometimes a lot of people can like, oh, you mean you don't agree with that and stuff? But it's like, yeah, we're all different people. We have a different mindset and a different way we think. And so it's important not to like let that stop anything, and you just carry on, because they're still the same person.
Yes, and having a different mindset on things. If we all had the same mindset, then what are we doing?
Right?
But like
what's
Larkin brings new things to the table that make me think about other things, and I bring different things to the table, and that's just a really cool aspect of especially Christian friendship. Is that we're gonna bring different things to the table every day.
Exactly.
Because we see different things. We all have a different story. And
We
that's
do.
so special.
It very
and so cool. And it all comes back together into like this little ball, and I think that's just so beautiful and special.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just know, we can probably close off soon, but just know your standards, know where you stand with people, and especially when I'm looking for a relationship, I'm looking for someone who will argue with me, but then be like, okay, we have this and this we agree on, and we have this and this we don't agree on, and that's absolutely okay. And just knowing that no matter what, like little vigors or fights, you always come back to, okay, well, what does God say about this situation?
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. So just know your worth and know that you are allowed to have standards. You're allowed to have things that he doesn't have to be 6'5". Finance. Have you heard that song? I'm looking for a man in finance.
Oh yeah, that song.
He doesn't need to have all that. But just find what you believe in and go for that. And
just also realize your identity is not in a guy, and it's not in that relationship, and it is in Christ. And I feel like definitely knowing yourself first and accepting and loving yourself first before you get into a relationship, because then you will know what you want. And it's having a Christ centered is just so amazing, because it's so amazing how you can see God working through the both of you. And just having that comfortable with that person, because then you can share it. It's just so great. Right, like doing devotions together is something I'm so excited for. Like being able to call them and just be, okay, so I was in this chapter today, and I was doing this and this and this. Yeah, just like that's just so special. Yeah. So I am so excited. There will be another podcast out with Larkin in it. So it'll be a couple weeks, but she'll be in it because we'll like section off. But it's gonna be super fun, and I'm so happy that we have Larkin here with us today. Larkin's just a little angel. Thank you. And we just are so happy that you all decided to join us, even if it's like one of you, whatever. Mwah! Love you all.